Hey, this is Sari Torres. Today on the Existential Crisis Corner, Doctor Who Season 8. Skip it or watch it. Okay, so actually, I'm doing this video sort of as a suggestion from my brother because he's wanting to get caught up on Doctor Who, and he doesn't know what episodes of season 8 and 9 to skip or watch. He's kind of left off with number 11, Doctor 11, and I'm like, well, there's certain ones that are really good, and there's certain ones just forget about it. And he's like, write me an email with it, and I'm like, well, why don't I make a damn video? So this will be my first of what I hope will be many watch it or skip it videos. I will go through and I'll sort of have a bit of a scale. You have to watch this one, or you'll be confused, or maybe watch it if you want, or just for the love of God, avoid this altogether. So I hope this is helpful to you if you're trying to get caught up with Capaldi. I like Capaldi a lot. I'm kind of getting a little tired of Moffat storytelling. I'm not like one of those Moffat haters, but I'm not really a lover either. I kind of try to look at it with some perspective. And anyways, I hope you enjoy this video and that you can get some more enjoyment out of the Capaldi years. I'm hoping you enjoy it. Okay, so we're going to start out with episode 1 of season 8, which is Deep Breath. So watch this one. Duh, it's a season opener. It's the first episode with a doctor. You can't skip this one. But it's a fun one. I've actually watched this one multiple times, and that's how you know that I really like an episode, because I don't have a lot of time in the world. So if I watch it more than once, it means I really like it. It's got another monster with the sort of gimmicky kill tactic that's done with Moffat. It's always a monster that preys on something that you need to do as a human. So don't blink, or stay out of the dark, or in this case, don't breathe. And we sort of get a look at 12 Stark's side from the beginning. A dinosaur that really isn't there very long, which they tricked us with the previews there. And the whole through line of the whole season plot is begun with Missy and her quote-unquote afterlife. And there's an interspecies lesbian kiss, which always brings me so much joy. So, definitely watch that one. Number 2 is Into the Dalek. It's a fun romp, fantastic voyage style, and as the title says, into a Dalek. It's important to the sort of ordinary life side of the story with Clara, but you could probably piece these things together without this episode, so it's borderline skippable. I liked it, but if you're in a rush, you could skip it. Number 3 is Robot of Sherwood. It's skippable, but I wouldn't, because I loved this episode. Not much happens overall arc wise in this one, but it's so much fun, and it really brings out Capaldi's complexity as the Doctor, and it's really the first episode of the season that really has a lot of joy. I was kind of worried with the first couple episodes that Capaldi was going to be too dark, but not with this one. I don't know, I just really suggest it. I really loved it. Okay, number 4 is Listen. Watch this one. It's a very interesting sort of abstract episode. I liked a lot of it, especially the parts where the Doctor breaks the fourth wall. I love fourth wall breaking. But I just didn't really... I felt that the enemy of the story's threat just sort of felt flat, and kind of, I don't think it was planned out very well writing-wise. There is important developments with the introduction of Danny Pink, and a lot of cool, interesting philosophical type things. Time Heist. Skip this one, please. I really wanted to like this one really bad. It had a cool concept, but it just sort of fell flat. It became sort of twisted in on itself. Honestly, the best part of it is when they're searching through a past criminal database thing. You get a lot of like old Doctor Who monsters going by, and you're like, oh, Easter eggs! Look at all these Easter eggs, and also a quick glimpse of John Hart from Torchwood, which we don't get a lot of Torchwood references in Doctor Who anymore, so I'll take what I can get. Other than that, just skip this one. The Caretaker, number 6, watch it, definitely. It takes a page, I think, from Ten's episode School Reunion, where the Doctor is once again working at a school, undercover, and this time as a janitor. Honestly, this is one of my favorite episodes of this season. It does a great job combining humor, fun, and also important story elements that go through the whole season. And it really just kind of reminds me of the old Russell T Davies days, so definitely check that one out. Okay, number 7, Kill the Moon. This episode had such a great premise. We believed in you. Yeah, and it's a pretty good episode, but the ending is such a disappointment. It's such a bad ending. It makes me so mad. I'd say skip it and spare yourself the frustration, which is hard to say because the ending is a little bit important to the overall season storyline. But if you just realize that the Doctor does something makes Clara mad at the end, and makes us all mad at the end, if you just keep that in mind, you should be able to go into the next episode just fine. Because okay, number 8 is Mummy on the Orient Express. It's skippable, but it's good. Nice, scary Who with an alright story. A gimmicky sort of villain that's also great at building suspense. They do an interesting little thing with a clock at the bottom. It's just a good, fun middle of the season romp. If you do skip it, I would say if you could skip Kill the Moon and Mummy on the Orient Express together, because in Kill the Moon, Claire gets mad at the Doctor, and in Mummy, she sort of stops being mad at him, and it's a little sketchy. Like, honestly, the overall arc in these two is kind of, I don't know. Okay, next is Flatline. Watch it. Honestly, this is one of my favorite episodes, Doctor Who, period. It's just, it's a subtly creepy villain. And the design kind of goes off of like video game glitches. It sort of seems like, and it just creeps me out, but just in a very subtle way. Great concept. They'll make you think about dimensions and shit. Great fun. This is what Doctor Who's all about, baby. Plus, it introduces Rigsy, who's very important in an episode next season. So there's that. Okay, number 10, In the Forest of the Night. For the love of God and all it is, holy, skip this episode. More or less, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but at the end of the episode, it turns out if they hadn't done anything, everything would have been fine. And I don't know, that pissed me off a lot. It's just a bad concept. It's stupid. It was boring. The only real fun thing you get out of it is like a bad CGI tiger, if I remember correctly, and getting to see 12 interact with kids, which is kind of funny, but please just skip it. So now we get to 11 and 12, Dark Water and Death in Heaven. Obviously watch this. This is a 2-part season finale. And probably my second favorite season finale of Moffat's Who. Season 5 would be my favorite finale of Moffat's Who. Season 3 is my favorite finale overall, just in case you're wondering. So in this episode, Missy's secret is finally revealed. There are crazy ass surprises. One of which, if you don't have any spoils at all for this, it's the showcase of the surprise is done really well. The shit hits the fan right at the beginning of Dark Water, and it does not stop. So strap yourself in, compadres. It's gonna be a crazy ride. I hope you enjoyed my little watch it or don't watch it of Doctor Who season 8. I will be doing one for season 9 pretty soon. If you're interested, my novel Bubblegum will be released in October this year. You can check out my link in the description to see a little preview of that. You can also like or subscribe. You can put in a message on what was your favorite episode of the season. If you agree with my watch it or skip it's. And yeah, definitely keep watching the channel. I'll keep posting stuff. So this has been the Existential Crisis Corner, and I'm Sarah Torres. Stay weird.